tonight on Oregon Art Beat.
My paintings tell me what's going on before I know what's going on. They inform me. I've learned to trust that process where you allow the imagery to appear. I'm really opening up to something that means something to me.
Oregon Art Beat is next.
Funding for Oregon Art Beat is provided by the James F. and Marion L. Miller Foundation, the Robert D. and Marcia H. Randall Fund for Lifelong Learning, the Kinsman Foundation, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Oregon Art Beat. I'm in the studio of painter Alison O'Donoghue. That's Alison working back there. She's very well known in the Portland art world. In fact, she won Art in the Pearl's Best of Show Award in 2011. Here's a look at the reason why.
This is a girl on a drunk snake. I think that's funny. Duck, duck, and the woman holding two Chihuahua-type cats, and Felicious. I like my work to be playful. I like to address things that are real, that are really human, and in the form of these characters. This is called Hello Mother. I looked in the mirror and I saw all those wrinkles and I painted that. Hello Mother. Little ones are usually more fun, but a bigger one, often there's something more psychological happening. There can be objects that tell a story. This young woman, this is her animal, and the old woman has her animal, and the animals are fighting. Then I realized it's a battle over your feelings about getting old. My paintings tell me what's going on before I know what's going on. They inform me. I've learned to trust that process where you allow the imagery to appear. He's had a long life as a fighter. This is him as a child. That's his mother. And he's listening to a story. This guy has a book about all the things that type of animal can do. And he's filling his head with ideas. And he becomes a fighter. He's over here after a fight. He's having a martini. I think he lost the fight. But he's successful enough fighter that he's got people comforting him. She's scrubbing him down and they're bringing him more alcohol. What other stories? Oh no, the vendetta machine. This is really good. I did a vending machine and then I put vend and I thought, well, could it be vending? And so you put the money in and your enemy's head pops out. It's not very nice. Oh, I like this one. This house with blackberry vines growing out of it. The only time you see a house with blackberry vines growing out is if it's abandoned, so it's sad. Home, a turtle is always home. A snail is always home because they have their house on their back. Houses come up in my paintings a lot because to me, houses represent stability, which is very important to me. I grew up in Portland and we moved all the time. I went to 11 grade schools and 4 high schools. I went through periods of depression and I did jigsaw puzzles for hours. Some of my paintings look like the little pieces of the puzzle. I started studying art at PNCA in the 80s. I loved it. I drew in my books the whole time, art school after art school. I drew in book after book. I drew and drew and drew and drew. I spent years making patterns and drawing myself. You can see that I drew myself. I was my own best friend. keeping myself company for many years. Oh, he's touching the knife to see how sharp it is. He's feeling her bun at the same time. Testing her bun. I don't know what's going to happen in a lot of paintings. It's kind of fun to find out as you go. That flower might not stay there because it's sort of distracting. And then I can't stand it any longer. When I draw something I like, I have to start painting it. And then I have to start painting. She's kind of evil. She's the lady with the rubber gloves and the knife. That's not a good combination, right? This miter might not be there when I'm done. Anything I paint could just get painted out later on. It's hard to paint things out. You might say, I think I'm gonna miss that person if I paint them out, even though I don't like them. What if you could do that in your real life? Paint out your people that you don't like. No, I don't like that. I don't not like that many people, but it's therapeutic to work out little scenarios in your painting. If you look at my paintings, it's like a stage. Actions taking place between the clouds and the ground, creating a world. And then anchoring plants or people or trees on the sides. Like a safe place for the action to take place. There's often an animal at the bottom, and the animal normally has a bowl of food or a cup of coffee. I always feed my animal because they're supporting a lot of the action in the painting. When I was in art school, I felt an affinity for folk art. I've liked the kind of raw, simple, childlike quality of folk art. It's kind of dreamy. I love this figure sleeping, the way she's curled up. Her bicycle's parked by the tree. Everything's nice. Now I'm going to put washes on with a big brush. So this is kind of the fun and scary part because it's unpredictable and you can overdo it. Slowly drying. Okay, it's almost dry. There, it's nice. It warms it up, yeah, it really does. It's like a warm blanket went on, right? The gal, the lady, I think she's me. I mean, she's me. But all the characters are this person. That's what I realized. They're going through their life in this kind of state of awareness and lack of awareness, or sleeping. I think it's just a moment in her life where she's kind of blindly riding into the future. There's nothing really dramatic. It's all gentle, what's happening. It's all very gentle. The food is there to feed everybody and everything's abundant and good. Nobody's gonna starve, right? It's good. I'm really opening up to something that means something to me. But then I stop and I'll recognize what's happening in the picture, and it changes my focus. And I'm no longer asleep. It's like waking up. Yeah.
Wet plate photography was very popular during the late 1800s, but it's not very common today. We found a guy in Portland who's using it to create unique portraits.
My name is Giles Clement, and I'm a wet plate collodion photographer. So you want a photo of you and your dog for your dad?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Ashley Schaefer. I'm here to have a portrait taken by Giles, send to my dad, and make him happy.
We have Jack alongside your face there. And then we just got to keep him parallel to your eyes so he stays in focus and you do too. And hopefully he doesn't hate the flash too much, right?
He's gonna hate it.
Oh, Jack. Wet plate was invented in 1851 and then used up until the early 1900s. And with wet plate, you have to make the plate, shoot it, and develop it in 10 minutes or so. So that's why it's called wet plate, because the whole process is wet. And it's a very fluid, fast-moving, fast-paced thing.
So you sit here and you just wait for him to do his thing, and then you get flashed, and you're done.
All right.
You're okay.
It can be
It's
better.
cute.
We can do better, and just
Yeah, not
I just
really.
had some dirt that got on right there, and then those drools are from the top running down. So you want to just try another one and we'll get it
Sure.
better? Okay. I just start with a regular piece of black glass, and I pour collodion on it, and it's a solution of cotton mixed with alcohol, ether, and some acid. When I dunk the plate into a tank of silver nitrate, the silver nitrate reacts with the chemicals in the collodion, and the silver then becomes light sensitive. So essentially what I'm doing is just taking a piece of black glass and turning it into a piece of film that I can then take a picture on. When I'm in the darkroom there, I put the plate in like this and then close it, and then that holds the film, and this is what goes into the camera. And then there's a dark slide that protects it, and when I'm ready to take the picture, I'll pull that dark slide out, and you can see the film, or the glass right there, so the image is made right on that. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Okay, you good there?
You're just looking into this big lens and don't really know what's going on because it doesn't really do a whole lot. It just sits there.
The lens is made in 1849, so it's 164 years old. And it actually predates wet plate, so it was made for daguerreotypes, which is the first real method of photography. If everything's going fine, it's easy and anybody can do it. But it's when things start to go wrong, then trying to troubleshoot, find out what's going on. Learning from your mistakes is the long learning curve, I think, with it. You actually pour the developer right over the plate. It'll go from just being a white, it just looks like yellowish white, the silver, and you'll see a negative image emerge out of the white. And you'll take that and put it in the fixer, and that's really where the image is made. You see a blank piece of glass, basically, and then you see an image magically kind of appear on it.
I like that it's always really cool and fun to see come to light.
You know, digital picture and Instagram or whatever, it's here 1 second and you forget about it the next. It's on your hard drive somewhere. And this is something that you can hang on your wall and it's going to last 200 years or more. It's very addicting. It's really difficult to do, and it's difficult to perfect. And I always want to get it perfect or as close to perfect as I can. So I keep going and keep going and keep going, and I certainly don't get bored. Frustrated, yes. Bored, not so much.
That is the time when I feel most vulnerable. I have no control over it. I have no idea how the viewer, the editor, or the world in general, the publisher, is going to react to it.
The 23rd book Alan Say has both written and illustrated will soon be winging its way to Scholastic Books. He's putting a few final touches on the book, but he still has to write it.
I really couldn't write the text until I have all the art ready.
He walks us through some of his ideas.
My father lives with a 20-pound cat named Took.